Hey everyone, welcome to my investigation on Lost Eidolons, an indie game made by Ocean Drive Studio based in California. I'm playing the second closed beta and wanted to give you my thoughts and provide some feedback, starting with a description of what this game is. According to Steam, Lost Eidolons is a turn-based tactical RPG with a gripping cinematic narrative set in a waning empire riven by civil war. Take on the role of a charming mercenary captain, Eden, and lead his band of allies through epic encounters on a classic turn-based battlefield. It's a pretty accurate description as far as I can tell. The game opens with a cinematic to set the scene, and before you know it, you see a bunch of talking heads having all sorts of conversations. You are one of those talking heads, Eden, and what becomes apparent immediately is that the dialogue doesn't flow at all.
No, wait, it's almost over.
Come on. You've heard that fairy tale 1,000 times.
Exactly, I want to know what happens next.
Who cares? It's got nothing to do with us. Speaking of us, where's Leon?
Last I saw him, he was in the square.
Aw, what's the matter? You two fighting again?
Oh, come on, why do you have to say it that way? You make me sound like a little kid.
There is a second or so between people talking, and it ruins the idea this is an actual real conversation. Instead, it feels more like voice actors voicing random lines without knowing who they're talking to. The voice acting is okay, mostly, and the narrative is interesting enough, but the pacing is problematic, which immediately becomes apparent. Not only does it make the dialogues last twice as long as necessary, it also doesn't allow you to get immersed into the story, at least at the start. This is a very narrative-driven game, and the story is a big part of the experience. It is cinematic in nature, by which I mean that this isn't an interactive story at all. You cannot make a single decision, at least in the 7 chapters I played so far. You are simply a viewer, and the story plays out in front of your eyes, as if you are watching a movie. The closed beta offers 8 chapters out of a total of 27 in the final game, so this beta has around 30% of the completed game, which is set to release next quarter. Partly due to the dialogue, the chapters start out slow, and getting into the game is a little bit difficult. At least from a story perspective. But like I said, that is a chunky part of the game. A chapter consists of roughly 50% story and cinematics and 50% turn-based combat. The latter is where the game does a much better job. The combat starts out easy enough, but slowly but surely you'll learn more techniques and the game opens up as you progress through the chapters. At some point, you unlock your camp, unlocking a third-person perspective, allowing you to walk through the camp, talk to the people that you've saved, and you're doing a bunch of side quests, you can buy and sell stuff, and overall manage your party. Here, the RPG elements kick in, and loot you find during your battles you can equip. Party members become different classes, unlocking various abilities and skills, allowing for greater versatility in battle. Depending on which weapons you use in battle, you gain levels in various skills, like in one-handed swords, two-handed axes, or heavy armor, and these are then the requirements to promote a character into a certain class. It's a fun system that lets you plan out your gear and attacks and incentivizes you to act a certain way on the battlefield in order to get the relevant experience for your troops. Talking about battles for a bit, it is clearly very strategic and turn-based, interwoven still with narrative bits at key moments during the fight. Positioning your mercenaries is crucial, but fortunately the game provides you with plenty of information to make your decisions. You can see aggro ranges of enemies, you can see how much they can move, and there is detailed information available in panels. And what I appreciate as well is that the game really eases you into the combat and unlocks more features as you go. The first 3 or 4 chapters are more like a tutorial, an establishing shot if you will in the movie, and the game does a good job teaching you how the combat actually works. While the narrative leaves you no choices, combat certainly does. As the game progresses, battles and enemies become more complicated, as you need to siege castles, fight monsters as well as men, and fight tougher enemies overall. The game gets more and more fun, and while I wasn't all that invested around chapter 2, I soldiered on, and around chapter 5 I just wanted to continue playing. Because you unlock more classes, more spells and more gear, you get a wide array of options to bombard the enemy with, and that is very interesting and very strategic. It makes winning battles feel good. Plus, the story gets more interesting too. The delivery is still problematic, but as you meet more characters and get to know the NPCs better, also by talking to them in camp and giving them gifts to increase their standing with you, you start caring more about the people that help you against your rebellion against an evil empire. I purposely didn't talk much about the story because it's such a big part of the game, and I think it's better if you figure it out all by yourself. To conclude, this is a very solid beta. It gives a great idea what this game is going to be like, and I can definitely see me playing the 27 chapters of this. If my current playtime of 6 hours for 7 chapters is any indication, I think you will spend around 25 to 30 hours with this at release, which seems like a good amount. Not crazy much, but enough to serve you some interesting battles and story bits. It's something to put on your radar for sure, if you enjoy what you see. Thanks for watching and making it to the end. Please subscribe to this channel for more indie investigations like this one. See you soon. Love you all. Bye bye.